This is Fighting Force of the Dominican Republic, and this is the main event of the evening. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, with a professional record of 8 wins, no losses. Welterweight division and 170 pounds, fighting out the Team FTA, Carlos El Matador, show me the money, Matos. In the red corner, with a professional record of 5 wins and no losses, welterweight division and 170 pounds, fighting out of Jamaica, Dilano, the Postman, Taylor. Our referee in charge, Tommy El Matador International.
Fighter breakdown. Matos wants to land the power shots, look for the striking. Taylor, get the fight to the ground, put on his grappling clinic. You've seen Taylor. He won, I think it was 2 fights ago in Titan. He won by Ezekiel choke, nasty submissions. Like I said, he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu himself.
Taylor. Have a great fight, sir. Touch close if you wish. Back up.
Some serious eyes there by Carlos Matos.
Yeah, man, this guy's undefeated. He's in his hometown. He's here to win.
His home country, he's ready to go.
We're going to find out right now if this belt is going to stay in the Dominican Republic or if it's coming back to America.
Swing and a miss by Carlos Matos. But you see how long both... Oh! Beautiful right hand. But Dilano catches that leg, trying to solidify that takedown. Gives it up a little bit. Maybe he's trying to go for a double underhook. But Carlos looks nice, calm, composed. Ear slaps.
Yeah, I think it's no secret that Carlos Matos wants to keep this fight on the feet, and Dilano, the postman Taylor, wants to get it to the ground and work his jiu-jitsu, work his magic, work where he's super strong at. I mean, he was a 2-time state qualifier in wrestling, so he has really good wrestling fighting out of Florida.
I mean, that depends on the state, really.
Florida, it's a legitimate state, one of the top.
It's like a 50.
And, you know, he trains with a lot of the top guys in the world. I mean, he's mixing it up over at Sanford MMA with Gilbert Burns, who fought for a world title, Jason Jackson. You see in his corner, Emperor Kusungao. And, man, this guy's training with the top guys on the planet right there over at Sanford MMA in Florida.
Sanford is an amazing gym. Multiple bodies. And
multiple high-level coaches. Like, you know, Henry Hoopt, I mean, that's right now is Dilano's, you know, I wouldn't say he has any weaknesses, but something that he needs to work on is his striking. And he has the best Dutch kickboxing coach in the world on his team coaching him. So, something to be said for that.
Carlos, another small swing and a miss, but he's using his lane to his advantage. Oh, Dilano coming in with that 1-2. Trying to get a double underhook here. Carlos Matos gets one hand in, trying to lever it up there. But he's staying calm. Look at him. He just slapped him.
And you see in Carlos, the Matador Matos corner, you see Omar De La Cruz. You know, Omar De La Cruz fought for a Bellator world title, you know, years ago in 2007. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. So even though, you know, Carlos Matos isn't getting the highest level training, you would say, he does have one of the highest level coaches and a guy that's been in there at the highest level. So he has a black belt in his corner, a guy that knows the MMA game. And, you know, you can see it showing off tonight. He looks really strong in there.
Nice knees. And these guys just now making it a grappling contest. Over, under, knee. Oh, beautiful outside
The cage kept him up. I mean, Dilano Taylor would have got that takedown almost anywhere, but he landed right into the cage and it kept him up. I mean, that's what this is, cage fighting.
The cage is your friend of me. Depends how you want to use it. For Carlos, it was his friend for that one. Beautiful knees on the inside of the thigh.
I mean, also to be noted, Carlos Matos is the #1 ranked fighter in the Caribbean. and welterweight, and this guy is undefeated, 8-0, undefeated as an amateur. This guy has all the hype in the world. He has the whole crowd in his corner right now, and there's a lot of people tuning in the world, and including the UFC, and they're looking for a big finish or something big out of one of these guys. I think if Matos can win this fight, he could punch his ticket to the big show, and same with Dilano Taylor.
Those knees, man, they might not feel like anything now, but they add up, and you'll definitely feel them after the fight. But, man, Carlos, I think he's staying a little too calm. Maybe trying to feel out, Dilano Taylor, you do have a 5-round contest.
Yes.
But, again, for me, I don't like to put these title fights I guess I'm being a little hypocritical here because I am a very slow starter.
Well, yeah,
but,
I mean, you fought a few times. You were the champ of Titan FC. You won the title 2 times and fought, 5-round fights. I mean, what's different of fighting in a 5-round professional bout? I've never fought 5 rounds in a professional title fight.
I've had 5-round fights. One of them going 5 rounds, the other one going 4. They're exhausting. But me, I'm a pyramid. I'm like a train that once it starts, it's slow, but then it gets faster and faster and faster, and it's harder to stop. But other people, they gas out. I'm just a guy, again, like Kamaru Usman. I'm going to compare myself to him as he compares himself to me back in Titan FC. We're just guys that we get stronger as the fight goes down. Shout out Kamaru Usman, man. Miss you, buddy. Woo.
No doubt. And it's said to be Kamaru Usman. If one of these guys wants to get to the UFC, that could be a potential opponent for them. So these guys are looking to go to that next level and fight. They're fighting for the Titan FC title, but hopefully for one day, for one of these guys, they could be fighting for a UFC world title, and that's the ultimate goal.
A little smirk on Carlos Matos' face after missing. He's trying to counter with that straight right hand after the kicks. Dilano always trying for that outside reach, just can't get it.
Matos has some great balance, though.
He really does have some amazing balance, but he's using the cage as his friend. The only thing is, he's also keeping himself there, and that's the hard part. You want to win these rounds, you need to have action back.
Yeah, Carlos Matos has a high fight IQ. I mean, that's something, where your position is, know where your feet are at certain parts in the fight. And you can see right here, the breakdown right here, Dilano Taylor doing a good job of using his feints and his fakes, but then Matos comes in with a straight right hand and knocks Dilano Taylor to the ground. Great first round.
A little bit of a slower start. That beautiful right hand, I believe, was the highlight of the round, but not enough to win it in my eyes. I believe I do give it 1-0 to Dilano Taylor, but we'll see how Carlos comes out for the second one. Is he going to open up a little more, or is he going to stay slow and methodical and wait to that 3rd, 4th, 5th round?
Yeah, for those just tuning in, you guys missed an absolute smoker for the last fight, so we're a little spoiled from the last one. The crowd is a little spoiled. The last fight was one of the greatest title fights I've ever seen.
I'm like smoking a cigarette back here.
This is still a good fight. We've seen some awesome work right here.
And round 2 begins. Dilano Taylor opening up with the left high kick. And now the right. Ooh.
Beautiful.
See, Carlos looks so calm, against the fence. I just wish I'd see a little more action by him. Those slaps only do so much.
Yeah, I think he's aware that it's a 5-round fight, so he's going to... I think maybe his game plan would be to grind his way to a victory. I mean, the goal of this fight is to come home and bring the belt back to the United States, and same for Matos. I mean, the goal is to come home with the belt.
Oh, lunged in with that left-hand elbow. Oh, beautiful spinning push kick. And a 1-2 to follow. Oh. Wow. They both trying to throw each other in that one.
Man, I must say, Matos' balance is one of the best I've seen. I mean, his balance, he just has naturally incredible balance, and he does a great job of keeping on his feet. He's like a cat almost.
He has very, very good balance. And it's, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And these guys are towers. Compared to most people at 170, they're very long. So it's hard to even adjust to get them down. Maybe Dilano Taylor, it's been easier for him to take down shorter, smaller guys because of his length. But Carlos Matos being the same height, that causes some difficulty. Dilano Taylor being content, landing those knees, but, I mean, honestly, I would too. That's action.
I mean, one thing to be noted, though, is if you're the one thing your coaches tell you in training, if your back is on the cage, you're losing that moment of the fight. So, you know, what Matos wants to do is he wants to dig his underhooks. He wants to turn Dilano Taylor and put Dilano Taylor's back in the cage or separate and get back to the middle because you don't win the fight with your back on the cage.
You're definitely right on that one. And Dilano goes for that single leg, and he gets it. Tried to go for the dump, didn't get it. Went for the outside trip and solidified the takedown. Now stuck in Carlos Matos' guard.
And now they're on the ground where this is Dilano Taylor's specialty. You know, he was the two-time Miami Open champion in Jiu-Jitsu, one-time Orlando Open champion, brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So, I mean, his accolades, you know, training under Junior Fernandez, who's a black belt, puts in work with Gilbert Burns. He's one of the best black belts I've ever seen. I mean, he just won a huge fight, a grappling match last week against one of the top, you know, United States grapplers in the world. So this guy looks in with the best guys, and he's where he wants to be, on top on the ground in this title fight.
Oof. And Carlos works his way back up to his feet and finally puts pressure in the fight, getting Dilano Taylor, his heels, his back against the cage. Can Carlos take advantage of this? Oh. Carlos pressuring now, walking forward. Beautiful knee to the body. Great Muay Thai clinch. Followed by a left knee.
Matos doing a great job of holding on to that Muay Thai clinch. This is a dangerous position, and this is a big elbow there, too, by Matos. But you see Dilano Taylor has that body lock. If he can suck him in and go hip to hip, he can get a good takedown here.
He has double underhooks now of his own, does Carlos Matos.
Yeah, Dilano Taylor wants to hang on to that whizzer and build off the cage and work his double underhooks. But this is a tough competitive fight, man. These guys are really going at it. Both of them want to come home with this belt.
This is a chess match. This is a very technical chess match. Who's trying to take the center of the cage? And so far, Dilano Taylor's winning it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Dilano Taylor has kept Carlos Matos' back on the cage. One thing that needs to be noted, though, is we are in the Dominican Republic. So where's Carlos Matos from? He's from Dominican Republic. He's their guy. So I don't think Dilano Taylor wants to take this to the judges in a close fight. That's just my opinion.
I definitely get that mindset. I definitely do. Lex McMahon was smart enough to bring some Florida guys to make it as fair as possible, just in case.
Yeah.
But you see, Carlos Matos, a great Muay Thai
good
clinch.
Inside boxing by Taylor.
Ooh. These guys just trading knees. 10 seconds left. And Carlos doesn't really look too fatigued. He seems pretty well collected right now. Dilano walked over, put his hands on his hips. Might be a little more exhausted than Carlos, but we'll see. Hey, I've seen people look exhausted and still be able to push through a 5-round title fight.
I mean, I hope not. There's 3 more rounds of this. We still have a full fight ahead of us right now, Shorty. I mean, 3 5-minute rounds. The winner takes home the Titan FC welterweight title.
A full fight ahead of us, and luckily, I'm not a part of it getting punched in the face for once in my life. I mean, it's kind of nice, right? Just commentating on the side, enjoying front row seats, getting the dress up, and not get punched in the face at an event.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is special. And that last fight we saw was, so amazing. We were, speechless. But, man, you see in the corner of Dilano Taylor, you see Impa, you see Landon Quinones, one of his cornermen, telling him to let's go. I mean, obviously that's what you're doing. You're working hard. But, this is the next 3 rounds. If whoever wins these next 3 rounds wins the fight. So
truly matchup. It might not look exhausting to the fans watching, but it's just back and forth of grappling. Your shoulders are exhausted. It's hard to stand up after so many punches and knees to the thigh. Oh,
you gotta love this, man.
This guy's enjoying himself. But I would like him to be a little more active.
I mean, Carlos is doing a good job by getting the underhooks and working his way. But, I mean, you see actually a string coming off Matos' glove. The referee is supposed to stop the fight, have them cut it off, and restart the fight. But we'll see what they end up doing here. Looks like a piece of tape hanging off his glove.
It's the tape or even some gauze, but it's a distraction in the fight for both him and his opponent.
Yeah, that happened to me in one of my UFC fights. Like, I was really pouring it on, and the ref jumps in. I thought he stopped the fight, and he really just tells me, "Oh, we're just cutting the gauze off your hand." I'm like, "Come on!"
Oh, thanks. Yeah, they're technically supposed to stop it when they're not in a dominant position or a flurry, and before that takedown attempt would have been the perfect time.
Oh!
And that knee landed flush. Dilano has a noggin on him, man.
Get it.
Oh, oof. Good strikes by Dilano Taylor. And smartly disengages before Carlos is able to retaliate. Seems like he knows that right hand counter's coming every time he kicks. Yeah, the ref is definitely supposed to cut that shot. It's distracting to me.
Yeah, Taylor's doing a good job of keeping control of this fight. I mean, even though this is a close fight back and forth, Dilano Taylor's keeping the pressure on the cage. He's controlling the positions, gets a big takedown there, and this is how he's going to win the world title if he can keep up this pace.
And that's one of the bad mistakes when you try to go for a guillotine or putting your hand or arm over someone. Oh, he might get stuck in a Von Fluke here. Ooh. You're going to get taken down like that because it causes leverage. That would be really awesome to see a Von Fluke. He's not going for it anymore, but...
Yeah, and like we said, I mean, I've seen Dilano Taylor finish many chokes on the ground. This is one of his specialties. If he can lock up, a nice choke on the ground, maybe a head and arm choke or a darce or something, I mean, this is his specialty where he shines.
Carlos trying to climb the fence. Dilano Taylor needs to be able to pull his opponent off the fence so it helps stop the movement on the bottom, or at least that big jump or trying to transfer to an arm bar.
Yeah, at any moment he can
like
kick
that.
off the fence and get up. And Dilano Taylor gives him his space.
30 seconds left of round number 3. And these guys fill each other out again. Nice body. See, those slaps only do so much. There's no action. It's not breaking your opponent away from you.
And here we go, heading into the championship rounds.
Two rounds left of the Titan FC Welterweight Championship between Dilano Taylor and Carlos Matos. U.S. versus the DR. Like Charles said earlier, is the Titan FC Championship going to stay in the Dominican Republic, or is it going to fly back home to the U.S. of A? If you're Carlos Matos' corner, what would you tell him coming out to this next round?
I think I would tell him to let loose a little bit more with his hands. He had success in the beginning of the fight with that. You see right here, also with the Muay Thai plum, that beautiful knee to the chin. If he gets in the clinch, he needs to be active like he was there. I mean, he's doing a good job, but he needs to do a great job to win this title. He needs to open up, throw some more shots, and just kind of open up his striking a little bit more.
Oh.
Championship rounds, here we go.
Start of round number 4 of this welterweight championship fight for the Titan FC belt. Dilano immediately opening up with pressure and head kicks.
Dilano Taylor looking great on the feet right now to start out this round. I mean, he did a lot of wrestling and top position and control, cage control, but now we're going to see his striking, I think, a little bit right now.
For me, I would tell Carlos Matos to keep on circling, and when you're going to throw your strikes, circle. When Dilano attacks, circle because you keep on getting stuck to the fence. That has been the biggest problem. And right now,
we see Dilano on the offense right now.
He's now circling. Oh, and here comes that Muay Thai clinch again. And Matos does a really good job at it, but he can't take advantage of it this time. We see him circling a lot more in this round. He does not want his back against the fence.
Taylor saw that coming.
Oh. And Dilano coming in with the clinch, ending with those knees.
I mean, 9 out of 10 times when you see a guy get a body lock that deep like Taylor's doing, the guy goes down. But Matos' balance is so good here. It's pretty impressive that he's able to stay on his feet from all these body lock attempts. I mean, what do you even do to be able to get the guy to the ground? Like when you have a full body lock, like what do you think it is Matos is doing? You think it's just his balance, or is it, I mean...
For me, if I have a body lock against someone like this, I'm constantly going for outside trip, inside trip, going for the other leg. I need them to be off of balance. We see that knee right there. He can try to go for a left leg reap and be able to circle and spin out like a dump. But again, it's different, different techniques, different styles.
Yeah. You know, someone said something the other day that you're seeing right there in a wrestling class. They said, not just in the body lock, you got to foot fight a little bit too. You got to fight with your knees. And, we always talk about hand fighting and upper body wrestling, but there's also wrestling with the knees going on right here now. So I think something that Dilano Taylor could be doing better right now is if he has this body lock, he could use some knee fighting right here, foot sweeps and things like that to get him on the ground. Maybe look for the finish.
I'm surprised the ref hasn't broken them up yet. There's not really much action here, even though Dilano is landing some knees. There aren't significant strikes. And Carlos talking to the referee right now, going, hey, come on, man. That was a groin shot. And for people who do not know, a groin shot, a fighter gets 5 minutes to fully recover. And after the 5 minutes, if he can't recover, then the fight is over. And I believe at that point, it would go to the scorecards because it is a championship round. So they would score the first 3 rounds and score it from that.
Do you know what the problem is right now?
It was a groin shot.
Okay. So an unintentional groin shot by Dilano Taylor has Matos. He has 5 minutes right now, but it looks like he's ready to go. So back to action.
And 2 minutes left into this 4th round.
Yeah, Dilano Taylor's doing a great job of controlling this fight, man. I mean, he's doing what he has to do to win this fight. He's doing good. He's looking good. I mean, he's up against a tough Dominican and Carlos Matos. I mean, this guy has some cat-like balance, some really amazing skills, fighting the top guy in the Caribbean right now, #1 ranked guy, undefeated. So, I mean, I think Matos has never experienced a loss. I mean, he's undefeated in his whole career, undefeated as an amateur. So, I mean, I'm sure that he must know that maybe he's down a little bit. So, I mean, if you're in his corner, I mean, you're probably going to want to tell him to pick it up if he wants to get this W.
Yeah, I mean, as a fighter, I'd say for assume, but man, Dilano Taylor really working that thigh. Carlos Matos might not feel it right now, but he's definitely going to feel it after this fight and for sure tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, those shots don't hurt as much when you have the belt wrapped around your waist. But when you don't have the belt wrapped around your waist and you feel those shots,
so much
it even
more.
hurts even more.
Especially right now where you're not really taking much damage. After this fight, you're going to feel, man, I could have done so much more. Why did I stay so calm? Why did I let him do all these things? Again, Carlos is in a sense, letting him hit him. And I'm actually very, very surprised. But Dilano doing the right thing, doing what he needs to do to get the win. Landing those knees to the thigh, punching the thigh, grappling his opponent. Carlos is very, very good at distance, and Dilano knows that, so pushing him against the fence and make his opponent pretty much stable enough to where he can't move and attack appropriately back, Dilano's winning every single round so far.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the first round was close because of the drop, but it could have been an even round, because of the drop. But I think definitely Dilano Taylor's winning this fight going into the 5th round.
Oh, he tried that outside trip I was talking about. And we have 1 round left of the Titan FC Welterweight Championship for Titan FC 69 between Dilano Taylor and Carlos Matos. So how have you enjoyed your trip so far here in the Dominican Republic?
Man, this place has been awesome, man. It's special, right on the beach, all the food and everything. I mean, I can't enjoy it as much because I'm fighting June 26th in Las Vegas for UFC against Justin James. So I got a tough guy ahead of me, and I'm about 5 or 6 weeks out from the fight. So that's when you start cutting down a little bit on the pleasures of life. But so I'm, it is what it is. But it's a beautiful place. I've been able to do some snorkeling, fun things. We got to enjoy a little bit of it yesterday, and it was a pretty fun day on the beach.
Yeah, we're at a resort. It's freaking amazing.
It doesn't get much better than that.
The DR is taking care of us very beautifully. And moving on to our final round for this championship fight. Will Carlos Matos be able to get the finish? Because we assume he is down 4 rounds to none, or at least close to that. And Dilano Taylor, will he be able to push the pace, keep his opponent against the fence, and finish this fight on top with the belt wrapped around him?
Yeah, there's no doubt that if Carlos Matos wants to keep this belt in the Dominican Republic this weekend, that he needs to get a finish right here. So I'm sure this coach has told him, and he knows that. He needs a finish, but Dilano Taylor is doing what he does. He has him up against the fence, controlling the fight, and, he's winning this fight, and he wants to bring that belt home back to Sanford MMA.
And a huge shout-out again to Wild Portals. We talk about one of these guys walking away with the Titan FC Welterweight Championship, the belt wrapped around their waist. If you want a photo with the belt wrapped around your waist, use AAR, sponsored by Wild Portals on Instagram and Snapchat through Titan FC. It's awesome, man.
What do you think the ref was telling him right here? Was that a groin shot or something again?
Maybe a groin shot, or hey, maybe you need more action.
They're fighting, Yeah, I mean, Matos needs to put his pedal on the metal right now. I mean, I talked to him before, and, something interesting about Matos is he does motocross. That's one of the other hobbies, and he likes to go hunting for his own food. He cooks his own stuff, but he has to know that he has to put his damn pedal on the metal if he wants to win this fight.
Yeah, he definitely needs more action in this fight. He's had his back, pretty much against the fence majority of the moment. Majority of the time. He needs to be able to push the pace and know that he is down. He needs a knockout. He needs a submission. And he's letting Dilano Taylor pretty much control the whole pace of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good strategy because this Matos guy is not a type of guy that you can just walk through and knock out. Or he's a dynamic striker. He has cat-like reflexes. He's fast. He's good balance. He has all the tools of a great fighter. But Dilano Taylor's strategy is working. He's winning this fight against a really athletic, tough guy in his hometown. So, good fight on our hands.
And again, Taylor's doing what he needs to do to get the win. It might not be the most entertaining thing, but like Tyron Woodley once told me, I don't care what people say. I got the belt wrapped around my waist. I'm making the money for it as a champ. Who cares? I don't care what you think about my fight, my performance. A win's a win, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I think the result is the most important thing. You get that belt wrapped around your waist. But I mean, Dilano Taylor's doing a good job. He's trying. He's going for the finish. He hunting for some submissions, some head and arm chokes from the bottom. He landed some good kicks and some shots. But like I said, he's up against a pretty dynamic guy right now. So it's easier said than done to just say, oh, I'm going to go out there and put this guy away. I mean, it's easier said than done. He's up against the #1 ranked fighter in the Caribbean right now. Yeah,
he's up against a very tough opponent. But in this fight, he's kind of solidified the win. He's kind of shut down Carlos Matos by pushing him against the fence, by stopping his strikes. And honestly, the only thing Carlos Matos has been able to do is land a few slaps like that. Good slaps, but, and maybe the right hand in the very beginning of the fight. But that's pretty much about it.
And since we have a little lull in action right here, I definitely want to say, happy birthday to my dad, Chucky Rosa. So, I know he's tuned in right now on Fight Pass, so just wishing him a happy birthday. But we got an awesome title fight on our hands. It's pretty good. Dilano Taylor is, dominating this fight. It looks like he's up, 4 rounds to none. And Matos needs to step it up and needs to knock out in this last minute.
And he definitely needs to stop backpedaling to the back of the fence. It looks like he's cocking that right hand back.
Good job by Dilano Taylor. He's pacing this fight very well.
And Carlos is just not pulling the trigger. Yeah, the fans might not be super entertained by this fight, but again,
it'd be cool to see a little breakup here, to see a last 30-second barrage to close out the night. I think the referee's creeping in to do it, but we'll see what happens.
I definitely would like that.
Come on.
But man, Dilano Taylor completely shutting down the best fighter in the welterweight division, located here in the Caribbean. It's a great job by Taylor, man.
Yeah, nice job. Great strategy by him and his team. I'm sure Greg Jones had a big fact to do with that wrestling. It was completely dominant wrestling, training with the top guys, and, beautiful performance by Dilano Taylor.
And some words exchanged by both. I wish that aggression would have been used during the fight, but it is what it is now. Dilano Taylor barely looks out of breath. Still very chill, composed. Again, not the most exciting fight in the world. We see that small cut over the right eye of Carlos Matos. I personally believe it was caused by an accidental headbutt, but maybe a left hook by Dilano Taylor. They did grapple a lot. That stuff happened to me in my fight against Abdel Velasquez for a title. And accidents happen. Heck, I got headbutted by Gleason de Jesus, all by accident as well. And that was 7 stitches. This one looks like a smaller cut. But overall, for Dilano Taylor, he has to be happy that he got a win. It might not have been the most exciting for him, but a win's a win, and he's coming back home. Or at least I believe he's going back home with the belt wrapped around his waist. Carlos is a tough fighter, a tough veteran, but I hope this fight is a learning experience for him to go on to the next fight. And now to make it official.
After 5 rounds of pure action in this main event of the night, the judges decide and declare the winner for unanimous decision. A new champ, Dilano Bossman Taylor.
Let's go. I'm here with the new Titan FC welterweight champion of the world, Dilano the Postman Taylor. You have delivered once again here in Santo Domingo. Man, how does it feel right now?